From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production, the NFL Bet Exchange, hosted by my man, Pop DiBiase, the primetime capper, and the Don of Cape Cod, Jeff Dawson.
Welcome to the NFL Bet Exchange with your host, the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime capper.
And Jeff Dawson, CEO and founder of East Coast Sports Investors, the Don of Cape Cod.
And here we are, week 8 of the NFL. In week 7, I wound up going 8-6 for winning those last 2 games. And Jeff, you were able to get those last 2 games because I was even worried about you. You wound up finishing 5-9 on the week, Jeff. And hey, it is what it is. Hey, you guys still got winners out of the show regardless of anything. So it is what it is, and pretty much we move forward now to week 8. Now we're in Jeff. The ball is rolling now. It's rolling now. We're rolling towards the end of October, and we will be entering the third quarter of the season. And this is where we separate the men from the boys, the contenders from the pretenders. It's that time. And we start off this week with a great Thursday night matchup. And this is right here. This is a make or break for both of these teams at this point. And this is going to be an NFC South matchup as well, too. This is going to be the visiting Atlanta Falcons going against the Carolina Panthers. Panthers 3-4 coming into the game. The Falcons are 1-5. Now, the Falcons have been an absolute nightmare to my pockets this year. And I know it's like, Pop, you a stubborn dude because you keep going back to somebody that just keeps hurting you. But you know what, Jeff? I'm not going to take them on money line this week. I'm going to take them with the points because I think they come on, after that bad break that they caught on Sunday, I would be ready to play a game the next day. So give me the Falcons, the plus 3.5. That we don't even have to talk about that monumental collapse that occurred as well, too. And it's funny. That's karma. Because when Matt Ryan was young in his career, he used to do the same thing to teams. Same exact thing to teams, get him in the end. And now they're getting his team in the end. So hopefully this winds up being exactly how I see the game shaking out. A close game that ends with the team winning with the final possession. I'm not going to call it a winner, but I am going to say that the Falcons cover plus 3.5. Jeff, what are your thoughts?
You know, I could say Falcon backers, Dallas backers, Jets backers. It's one of those you at some point you either got to jump off or you want to be that guy holding on to that ticket. I said I knew sooner or later they'd come through like the Jets did last week. Looking at the ticket counts early this week, 38% of the bets, but 72% of the money is coming in on the Falcons. The sharper side is the Falcons. Tough break with them last week, with Gurley not able to fall on the one and then eventually score, and then Stafford able to score on the second to last play of the game. I, too, will follow your lead here. ECSI is on the Falcons plus the 3.5 as well.
All right. Now we move forward, and, it's time to talk about those divisional games in the AFC. And up first, we have a good one. And this game is almost in reverse right now. This is going to be the Patriots, who are 2-4, taking on the Buffalo Bills, 5-2, in Buffalo as well, too. Buffalo's opening up as a 3.5-point favorite, and we got an over-under of 44.5. This game right here, I think, will call for a lot of people to want to bet the total in a sense, but I think the best bet here, and it's that time. It is time in my buffer voice, man, that the Buffalo Bills put that flag in the Patriots' chest. I got the Bills winning this game, Jeff. And you know why? Because this team has been playing lights out, and I know they've prepared themselves for this moment right here. They didn't look that great against some of the better teams in the league 2 weeks in a row. But the Titans, they're a machine. The Chiefs, they're a machine. Bills have taken care of their business in all the rest of their 5 games. Only tough one that they truly had was against the Rams. So I think that what happens here is that the Bills open it up, they get out to an early lead, and they ice this thing, Jeff. They really play a whole game of keep away and win this game. And I got them winning by a touchdown or better. Buffalo, cash that ticket for your boy. It's time to put that flag in the chest. It's that time. 1990 all over again, baby.
Living about an hour 15 from Pat's Nation, I tell you, the last 2 weeks have been brutal, from the Broncos to now the 49ers. You go back 2 weeks prior to that, Pat's Nation was pretty happy around here. Cam, who needs Tom, pumping his chest out. They looked great. And then COVID struck, and then the blunders by Hoyer on the Tuesday night in Kansas City. And it's been downhill from that. I don't know what happened on Sunday. I'd like to say at this point they were peeking ahead to this game, because this is the season for the Patriots. Even though they go to the Jets next week, then they play 2 tough opponents after that. So if the Pats lay another egg here, it's probably going to be Cam, thanks, but no thanks. We're going to see what we have with Stidham and move on that way. And I feel bad for Cam in this regards. He's not only playing for the Pats this year, he's playing for his contract and his career. And he's kind of starting to realize now that, maybe Tom is that good, because they don't have a lot of weapons around him. And I don't think Edelman's bought in. He's still banged up. And so I have to take one last swing with the Patriots here. I have to think deep down, the fact is their season's on the line. And Buffalo, the one thing that they do struggle against is the run. So I think it's going to be full-blown James White, Harris, whatever it takes. Cam Newton will probably rush 8 to 10 times. So ECSI is going to take the Pats plus the 3 and a hook. Shop around. You probably might be able to get a 4 by kickoff, but it's make or break. And then Bill, we trust.
All right. And now we move forward, and this is the game of the week. I'm surprised they haven't shifted this game to Sunday Night Football yet, Jeff. And this one is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers, 6-0. Going against the arch rival Baltimore Ravens, 5-1. And what does Vegas do on Sunday night? They open the spread up at 6. My dojo, my home, the Superbook. What you thinking? And then I went back and I thought about Sensei Jeff Dawson, and thinking about they just wanted to get that early Steelers money to come back around and get that late Ravens money Sunday before kickoff. It's always that's exactly what happened. And then we see what happens the next day. It dips down to a 3.5 by the time we get to the morning, because if you jumped on that 6, hey, good for you. But if you woke up Monday morning and thought you was going to have that 6, well, too late. So sorry. So this game right here actually winds up being, guess what, Jeff? The good news only dog bet of the week. Give me the Steelers plus 160. Cash me out. They go 7-0. They running this division. They're running this division right now, Jeff. And hey, Big Ben is like a landlord, and he said he's collecting the rent. And hey, it's your turn this weekend, Ravens. You get down against if you get down the way that the Titans got down on Sunday, 24-7, ball game. That's all I can say. And we pretty much seen the blueprint that can work for the Steelers. Give me that all day. I'm eating it up. And we 4-3 right now on the dog bet of the week. There it is.
Thanks for that little shout out, because you're absolutely correct. Is when these lines come out Sunday night while everyone's watching the late game, it's out there for a reason. They release them to the sharp bettors. Hey, which side are you guys angling on, so we can release them to the public on Monday? And at ECSI, we talk about the opening number. That is the key number. And as you said, our buddy Jeff Sherman at the Superbook opens that up at 6, and everyone's like, oh my God, I can get the Steelers plus 6, and they're still punching tickets. And by the time it gets to the public, it's 3.5, and it's now 3 and trending still to go down further. don't forget, Ravens lost to Kansas City. So if they lose here to the Steelers, when it comes to tiebreakers and in this playoff situation, I know they play the Steelers again, but my point is, they could be traveling to Pittsburgh. They could be traveling, obviously, to Kansas City. We have to look at that opening number, and then we have to say, okay, we know what's going on here. So what we're saying here very simply is that minus 170 is too steep for us to release on the Ravens. So we're suggesting here very simply is, at all your shops that you got the 3, buy the hook, get it down to 2.5. Ravens get out early. A couple Big Ben picks here and there, and we're looking for the Ravens to cover, and we're releasing Ravens -2 in the hook, minus the 125.
And there it is. We move forward to an AFC West matchup now, and this game is going to be between the Chargers, 2-4, the Broncos, 2-4. Both these teams are very much mirror images of each other. I'm still surprised that this game is not stuck at a pick'em as well, too, Jeff, because when we get to Sunday, this is going to be the guy at the window. Chargers, Broncos, Chargers, Broncos, Chargers, Broncos. Bro, what's good about the Chargers today? What's good about the Broncos today? And then you'll tell yourself, well, maybe the total might be the best bet for me here. But honestly, I have a side here, and I think this team actually got the memo, and they are going to wake up, and that's going to be the Chargers. That quarterback is absolutely tremendous. He was such a gamer last week. I know it was Jacksonville, but Jacksonville played with a lot of grit and a lot of heart. That's something we can't take away at all. Sometimes the other team, even if they're god-awful, they can step it up. They got an offense. They got a good quarterback in Minshew. It's just that they have no expectations, and that's what happens when you're a team with no expectations. So this week now the Chargers get to play against a bit of better competition, but they played against much better, and the Broncos have as well too. But the Chargers have performed better against better. So I truly do think the Chargers walk into this one and they go ahead and get themselves a good win. And I'm taking them with the -2.5. I'm going to buy the hook here as well too. And there it is, -2.5. I think that this will actually be the number as well too once we get the kickoff, because once you start thinking about the history between the Chargers and the Broncos in Mile High, it favors the Broncos, even when the Broncos are a bad team. So I truly do think that this is what they would say the Phoenix is rising in somewhat for the Chargers. And I think the Chargers will be able to put together some wins here as we move into November. And I like their quarterback, and I like where they're headed as well too. So Chargers -2.5, buy the hook if need be.
When we were looking into this game here, and a good lead in there about Rivers and company always had a great success as dogs when they came into Denver. And then I look at what Denver's done. They came into New England. They held the Patriots basically without a touchdown. They won with 6 field goals. And then they play in the snow against Kansas City. KC gets out early, and the rest is history there. Couple turnovers by Gordon. Locke looked awful. Now it's a divisional game. Love where Herbert's going. I love the direction they're going, but we're going to take a step back here, and we're going to try to stay away from the sizzle, and we're going to actually take a bite of the steak here. We're going to forego the points here, Pops. We're going to take a swing with Denver plus the 147 money line here, not just to cover, but to win the game outright. And a little angle, as you would like to say, is the Melvin Gordon revenge game. He'll take the lumps that he did last week, and he hopes to take it out on his former team. And we look for Locke and company to put some touchdowns on the board and to sneak this one out of the with an outright win here, plus the 147 money line.
And there it is. There it is. And with that, we got plenty more games when we get back, and we will be right back. This is the NFL Bet Exchange.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll Have Another, and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange. The Viget app, where social media meets sports betting. Get the latest line movements in all major sports. Track your daily bets, daily contests, the NFL over-under contest that pays out $10K in cash prizes. This is a cutting-edge app that helps betting be easy. Sign up with the reference code POPDBIC and you will be able to watch my daily show, The Primetime Angles, as a resource to building that bankroll. Viget is available in your Apple or Google Store on your iOS or Android. The social sports betting app, Viget.
Austin here, EastCoastSportsInvestors.com. Welcome you to the website. You're this close. Why not finish the deal and join our team? We're offering 2 great back to the basics and VIP packages for the rest of 2020. You can come on board to our very own app and bet work, we call it, for as low as 99 cents a day, $29.99 a month, or for the rest of 2020 for just $90. And that's a savings of $30 and 1 free month. Or join our VIP membership, which gets you direct emails and texts to your cell phone on a daily basis. Our breakdowns, our do's and don'ts, why we are releasing this game, and what to be expected for those games and the upcoming future. So come on board, click the link, or follow us at EC Sports Invest on the Twitter. We will follow you back and answer any questions there, or also send us an email at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com. Look forward to joining our team and seeing you soon at the Winner's Circle.
Welcome back to the NFL Bet Exchange with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime capper, and the Don of Cape Cod, Jeff Dawson. Okay, we walk on over to the NFC North now, Jeff, and we have a great matchup. It's a rematch from Week 1, and it's going to be the Vikings, who are now 1-5, going against the Packers, who are 5-1. The Packers got themselves a great victory last week against the Texans, which looked like it could be a trap game for this team, but they actually went ahead and they avoided the trap. Aaron Rodgers is continuing a brilliant season with really pretty much the least amount of talent that he's ever had. Devontae is awesome, their receiver, but other than that, everybody else is like a blue-collar guy in a sense, but I think that's the way Aaron Rodgers prefers it as well too, is where you got these guys who don't have egos that just catch balls and just keep scoring touchdowns, keep moving the chains, and doing what they have to do to help the Packers win games. And I look at this game in a sense that this is going to be a get-back moment, though, for the Vikings. I can see the Vikings getting off to a fast start in this game, knowing exactly what they need to do early to make sure that this game is closer than it was last time, because that game got out of hand fairly quickly. This game right here, though, I know that Kirk Cousins and crew, they have a game plan in place to where they'll be holding on to that ball a little bit longer than they did in game 1 against these Packers. And the Packers are coming in here red hot. You know, they are pretty much the face of the NFC, other than the Seahawks right now when it comes to the best teams in the conference. But I truly do think that the Vikings get some get back here. I don't know if they win the game straight up, Jeff, but that plus 7.5 is too good to pass up. So I got to get it, Jeff. Plus 7.5 Vikings. Let's see how it shakes out.
Yeah, we looked into that. That looks like it would probably be with the sharper side as we look into the numbers here. Basically, 63% of the bets, but only 28% of the money is coming in on the Packers side. We're seeing some back and forth action. Basically 6.5, 7.5. So it depends on where you're shopping. So we're suggesting here early in the week here, we're going to lean the other side. If you're seeing 7s, buy the hook. If you're getting 6.5s, buy on it. We're hoping Rodgers and company take care of business and win by a touchdown or more. Look, the Vikings, a lot of these teams now, the next couple of weeks, are they in the buy or the sell mode? And there's a lot of those teams with 1 and 2 losses that are in the critical next couple of weeks. So we'll take the Packers here, looking for them to stay winning at home and winning by more than a touchdown here at ECSI.
All right. We move forward, and we have ourselves a great one here in the NFC West. And this is these teams have been going at it the last decade, or whenever San Francisco decides to be good in the time frame. But all in all, we got the 49ers at the Seahawks. And the Seahawks, man, that team needs a breather off of Sunday Night Football. Seriously. I think that's the reason why they lost Sunday. Too many Sunday Night Football games in a row. They played 3 Sunday Night Football games, Jeff, this season already. We're only 7 weeks in. And that one was a peculiar game because they could have won it plenty of times, but they didn't. And that's just because the type of game, how that was, it really played up to the point to where, you know, the dog would probably win that game. That's why I rode with the Cardinals. You did as well last week, because it had it written all over it. It's a Sunday Night Football game. You got the young star going against the premier star of the league. It always kind of works out like that in a sense. And we kind of saw that maybe they might have a little bit of the better offense in this battle. But in this game right here, this is a defensive game, in my opinion. The better defense is going to help their team win this game. And if Seattle can step it up on the defensive end, unlike they did last Sunday, then it should be lights out for San Francisco, because San Francisco is really thriving off the next man up mantra at this point. And that's why they're so successful ever since those guys have went out. Like, seriously, you would have thought they would have been, 2 steps behind without Bosa and Solomon, but those guys actually, it seems like they've gotten even better. But still, all in all, I think it's lights out when San Francisco gets to Seattle. It's always been kind of a hit or miss for San Francisco anyway, ever since they started playing these guys 20 years ago. So pretty much I love Seattle in the spot. Give me Seattle with the -3.5. I honestly think they went by 10 or better, Jeff, to be dead honest with you. I think they really roll in this one.
The last 2 weeks, the Rams, the 49ers have taken care of business and got out early against the Rams, and then obviously the Patriots. Now you got the Niners. So the 49ers, we get back to, their last 2 weeks. It looks like the Super Bowl 49ers with their wins against the Rams and then traveling east to the Patriots. Now it's a big spot, divisional game. Tough spot for them because I think Seattle coming off that loss. But I think, again, Seattle, what they struggle the most is stopping the run. 49ers very simply, they're just going to run, and run some more. Look for big plays from Kittles. They're banged up. They lost Wilson. They're without Debo again. If their defense keeps Metcalf and Lockett in front of them, I think they have enough here. And so we're going to take the +3.5 here. Almost was thinking about sprinkling some money line here on them, but tough spot for them. But ECSI really likes the +3.5 with the 49ers.
All right. Now we got ourselves some conference games to go talk about, Jeff. And, we got to start in the AFC first. And we got the Jets, the dreadful Jets, 0-6. Then you got the Chiefs, 5-1. Jimmy the Greek is looking down upon us and saying, "Damn, I love the game that I made." And boy, oh boy, as in the words I talked about it earlier, so I won't say it here. But but you already know, this is to make a fair line for everybody. It's that simple. It's that simple. They are begging for Jets money. They're on their knees, on bended knee for some Jets money here. If you put them out at a 20.5, and you know what? That's funny because they got we got them out here on bended knee, and that's good and all, but it's still, I'm gonna have to give the Jets a hard no here because the Chiefs are gonna go ahead and dismantle them. They destroyed the Broncos last week, and I don't expect anything less with the Jets this week, because Mahomes ain't the type to say, all right, they're not as good as us, so we'll play down to their level. No, Mahomes wants to go out here and break records, and records can be broken in this game on Sunday, Jeff. Give me the Chiefs minus 20.5, brother.
Well, I'm going to go the other way here in this regards. And you're right. The numbers are set up for a reason. And this is David versus Goliath. The Jets cashed for us last week. Just looking at this, Darnold's back. And at your ticket count here, Pops, where can I find that? 53% of the tickets, 53% of the bets, and yet only 28% of the money coming in on the Chiefs. You're seeing some buyback here on the Jets. I get it. If you're getting 20 in the hooks out there, okay, buy the hook. ECSI will release the Jets plus the 21 here. You're starting out the game 21-0. Hopefully they keep it, close early and don't get blown out. I understand, Chiefs could win by 30, 40, whatever they want. But let's hope that they're peekabooing very simply here. And ECSI will take the Jets plus the 21 and pray, Pops.
Hey, you know what? Everybody taking plus 20 and 21.5. You're the ones with sense here. You give you a 3-touchdown lead in the NFL. Come on, dude. This should be an 80-20 the other way. Like the Chiefs beating them by 21 points. It would be is very possible when the Chiefs would be a -8 here. But now all the pressure is on the Chiefs to really have a blowout game. So we have to sit here and pray for a blowout. So I'm going to pray for a blowout because the Chiefs just keep taking the money. They're one of the better teams against the spread. So why not? Why not?
Nope.
Jeff? Why not?
I agree.
I mean, Jets, you've eaten up enough money this year, but you took care of us last week. I give you
right.
That's because it was a rematch. Only because it was a rematch. All right, we move on, and we got a good one here too, Jeff. This is a sleepy game, like sleepy. And when I say sleepy, I mean under the radar. A lot of people won't be looking at this, and they're going to already just put their stamp down on who's going to win this game. But once again, we're dealing with the most covering team in football there is, and that's going to be the Cincinnati Bengals. We got the 5-1 Tennessee Titans visiting the Bengals, who are now 1-5-1 on the season. But when it comes to that spread, they're 6-1. Wow. Oh, wow. Only game that they did not cover in was the Ravens game. And then everybody even was messing with me Sunday. Oh, yeah, you got lucky because the kicker didn't make the kick. It doesn't matter if the kicker didn't make the kick. Look at the scoreboard. The scoreboard tells the story of the game. It don't matter what happened in the movie. It's all about cashing the ticket. I just hate when they talk like that, Jeff. I just can't stand that. Just let me celebrate my win. Damn. All right, so here I am. It's easy. This one's easy for me too, Jeff. Titans got a bad taste in their mouth from last week. They knew that they should have been thinking touchdown in that final drive. Gostkowski, you were a great kicker about 3 years ago. But I can't trust you, bro. I know he can hit it from 50 and beyond. That's like he loves hitting it from there. But when it seems like when it comes down to these moments in games, Gostkowski is the guy that just really messes it up for you. And I just thought that maybe it would have been better just to have a scoring drive on that resulted in a touchdown like they did on everybody they came back on. Literally every home game they played was a comeback for them this season. So they get back on the road, a place where they've actually been pretty dominant at as well too. So I really truly like what the Titans have going on. And I think that what happens here this weekend, they absolutely break that streak of the Bengals being able to cover every week, 6 out of 7 of their first games. They ain't worried about that. They're not looking at spreads and things like us. And I think what happens here is that the Titans actually have one of their most thorough beatdowns of the season. I'm taking them to win with the 5.5, and I think they win by 10 or better as well too.
The Titans are one of those teams for the last couple of years that ECSI is not bought into, and watching them thoroughly again this year with Henry and Tannehill. And I think, the Belichick coaching tree has not been very successful, but the Vrabel has kind of been his budding star, and they buy in, and there's everything I like about this team. And they got smacked in the mouth early against the Steelers. The first 18 minutes, the Steelers owned the time The time on the field, 16 and a half minutes to a minute and a half. But the Titans didn't quit, and they were a field goal away from taking it to overtime. I too follow. Something. If this was a 2.5 3-point spread, I'd be a little leery. Vegas knows what's going on in this game, and I too am following that lead. Pops, looking for a vengeance, looking for an O. Henry day, an AJ Brown day. I'm looking for them to roll as well. ECSI loves the Titans minus the 5.5 as well.
And there we are. We are on the same wavelength with that. So there it is with the Titans, Bengals. So with that, we will be right back. This is the NFL Bet Exchange.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange. The Viget app, where social media meets sports betting. Get the latest line movements in all major sports. Track your daily bets, daily contests, the NFL over-under contest that pays out $10K in cash prizes. This is a cutting-edge app that helps betting be easy. Sign up with the reference code POPDBIC and you will be able to watch my daily show, The Primetime Angles, as a resource to building that bankroll. Viget is available in your Apple or Google Store on your iOS or Android. The social sports betting app, Viget.
Austin here, EastCoastSportsInvestors.com. Welcome you to the website. You're this close. Why not finish the deal and join our team? We're offering 2 great back to the basics and VIP packages for the rest of 2020. You can come on board to our very own app and bet work, we call it, for as low as 99 cents a day, $29.99 a month, or for the rest of 2020 for just $90. That's a savings of $30 and 1 free month. Or join our VIP membership, which gets you direct emails and texts to your cell phone on a daily basis. Our breakdowns, our do's and don'ts, why we are releasing this game, and what to be expected for those games and the upcoming future. So come on board, click the link, or follow us at EC Sports Invest on the Twitter. We will follow you back and answer any questions there, or also send us an email at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com. Look forward to joining our team and seeing you soon at the Winner's Circle.
We are back with the NFL Bet Exchange, and we have one more game in the AFC. This is going to be between the 3-3 Las Vegas Raiders and the 5-2. And let me say it one more time for the people in the back: the 5-2 Cleveland Browns. Unbelievable. Seriously, you did not have this team 5-2 to start the season off. You barely have this team winning 2 games at this point to start the season off. But when you look at their schedule, it does really cater to them, being 5-2. You know what I mean? Because Indianapolis was always a 50-50 split, regardless of anything. When you looked at the schedule, you would think that the Browns were going to be able to win one of the Cincinnati games at least as well too. And then you the only one that you probably marked the X on them was in the Cowboys game, because the Cowboys usually have their way with the Browns, but not this year. So those games right there alone were pretty much games that you could have marked down for the Browns to win. That's pretty much 3, right? So this team would look better looking 3-4 to a lot of people, or 4-3. But no, this team is 5-2 right now. Coach Stefanski keeps pressing the right buttons as well too. But I think the biggest thing with this Browns team right now is Kareem Hunt. Seriously, Kareem Hunt is a fighter, and his attitude is really rubbing off on everybody. And then I heard Adam Schefter say, "Oh, now the Browns have a hole at receiver." Dummy, did you watch the game Sunday and saw who caught the game-winning catch? Peoples-Jones. That boy can ball, and they've been killing it without a big impact from OBJ all season. So that's irrelevant. That's OBJ's career. That's just you worried about his career. We all know OBJ is moving on from the Browns after this, and it's really a good written situation. I hate the fact that he got hurt. That's not fair to him. But he tried to start doing the diva stuff, and you know what? Now that element's not even going to be there anymore. Now he can play a big cheerleader for the team and go on down the road. You know what I mean? And the Browns, they don't really have an asset anymore in OBJ, but that's okay. That's okay. You rode the wave with him for a little bit, and you can move on. It's fine. We'll see you in LA next year, OBJ. I promise you that. He'll be either on the Chargers or on the Rams, because he got to be at the house out there in Calabasas. But let me get to actual football. And the Browns, to me, at home are a very dangerous team. This is where they're going to win the majority of their games at, in my opinion, and they have to win. Every game is a must-win situation for the Browns. They can't really slack a moment when they get teams like the Raiders coming in. The Raiders are good, but the Raiders are NFL average to me at this point, to be honest with you. They're a really good team, but they play very average in the spots that they should be excelling in. And yeah, they got a big win over Kansas City, but that's because they're in their playbook 3 times harder than anybody else. But when it comes to this game right here, I think the Browns roll on the Raiders in this one. Even though the Raiders have kept it close, the Raiders looked really dejected last week. And I think that it's going to take a bit for this team to get it all the way back together, because they've been getting whooped by Fines and Covet left and right. So I'm going to take the Browns to go 6-2, -2.5 on the spread. Let's see how it shakes out. Jeff, what are you thinking with this one?
ECSI, we try to keep the logic in what should happen, what shouldn't happen out, strictly opening numbers and equations, crunching numbers. And this one is a tough one here. For ticket count, 65% of the tickets and 72% of the money coming in on the Raiders. The line is dropped from 3 to 2.5. And if you look at the situation, it makes sense in this regards. You look for the Raiders, who laid an egg last week, to bounce back, and you look at the Browns coming off a real big high with that comeback win in Cincinnati. And if you do some real digging and research, the one team that Baker Mayfield has shined upon and done well is the Bengals. So I think it's a perfect spot here to take the bounce back with Chucky, with the Raiders. Got to stop the run. And then on the offensive side, Carrs can't make any mistakes. Look for Ruggs to have a big day. Look for the tight end to bounce back here. We're not taking the spread here, Pops. We're going to take the +130 money line, and we got the Raiders winning outright in Cleveland.
And this is one of the more intriguing games of the week. I know I didn't put it in my top 5 games for this week, but the thing is, it's a very intriguing, and pretty much this game right here sets the tone for each of these teams' season, in my opinion. Seriously, if the Raiders win here, they can have the confidence to say that, okay, we can move forward and do what we got to do, to get that 7th spot in the playoffs. The Browns right now are actually in the playoffs if we start the playoffs today. But the thing is, though, they want to continue the momentum. This team wants to get the 9 wins or so before, the bad losing starts. You know what I mean? They want to be comfortable. And 6-2 is comfortable at the end of October. But that doesn't mean you automatically a team that's going to make the playoffs. It's just that it's going to be a game that's going to wind up being a very pivotal game towards moving towards that big goal of getting to the playoffs. See, the Browns are in a position where just making it to the playoffs is a monster goal in itself. So we'll see how it goes. And we know once we get to December, they'll have all of America rooting for the lowly Browns. We know this as well, too, Jeff, if they're in the same position. But we got to move on, and let's talk some NFC games. The NFC got some goodie. Well, it's not – yeah, we got one NFC game. One NFC game. It's probably going to be one of the better games of the week as well, too. This is going to be between the 4-2 Saints and the 5-2 Chicago Bears. The Bears came in last night and absolutely looked terrible on offense, looked absolutely amazing on defense, but the defense can only do so much if the offense isn't going to come and do their load or their side of the work. You know what I mean? So pretty much what happens here is that you got a Bears team coming back off of a very, very discouraging loss in a sense as well too. So they need this win as bad as ever, and the Saints need this win as bad as ever too. But I think what happens here is that the Saints have pretty much slapped themselves in the face and have woken up, Jeff. Honestly, they were struggling for a little bit, and they got a good wake-up call from playing the Panthers, who are a divisional rival. And I told you this on the show. We got the cover because of it, too. I told you that this game was going to wind up being closer than it looked on paper. And they go into this one where their offense is dominant enough to where they can really go ahead and make it the most frustrating day of the year for the Bears, in my opinion. The Bears are a very talented team on the defensive end, but I truly do think that the Saints will be the better team on Sunday on both sides of the ball. So I'm going to take the Saints with the -4.5 here. It went from a 2.5 to a 4.5, and we all know why. After that drubbing that the Bears caught on Monday Night Football, the bettors said, okay, let me throw 10,000 on the Saints real quick. Is that simple? I say these things because I've been in the room for these things. Jeff has too. And, you know, all these cappers, they talk and all that good stuff, and, you know, and talk about Vegas and all that stuff. My question is, have you ever been there? You're 22, bro. Have you ever been there?
This game, you nailed it, right? I mean, the public remembers what they saw last. And I bet you that line move from 3 to 4.5, that was all the guys that had the Bears yesterday. They're like, I'm done with this team. The hell with that. Jesus, oh my God, I just lost. I'm going to get it back on the Saints. The public remembers what they saw last. And understand this. 10 days ago, 12 days ago, we were anointing the Bears after they put a whooping on the Bucs. Now, 2 weeks later, the Bucs are the Super Bowl champs. They got the duck boats and parades. They're all set. They're hosting the Super Bowl. Brady wins another trophy, and he, rides off into the sunset. Not so fast, as Lee Corso says, okay? So my point is this, is look for the Bears here to bounce back. I'm not saying they're going to win the game, but I'm just saying this. Don't overreact like the public does. Okay, they're gifting us 4.5 points here. ECSI will gladly take the gift, and hopefully on Sunday we'll be cashing. So ECSI, Bears plus the 4.5 on a bounce back.
Oh, and side note as well, too, Jeff, every time Jeff backs the Bears, they wind up doing this as well, too, winning the game and taking money out of my pocket. But it's cool. So it's all right. It's all right, Jeff. We got this. It's okay. It's cool. It is what it is, brother. It is what it is. But we move on, and we have ourselves some interconference games. And oh boy, this game is actually much better than it looked last week. And this is going to be the Colts at the Lions. The Colts coming in 4-2. Lions are now 3-3 on the season. Lions are feeling themselves mightily right now. This could change the whole franchise around. That win that they got against the Falcons, it showed that maybe they might have been wasting this great quarterback and Matt Stafford for the last few seasons, because the way he came back in that game, he looked so elite. And we know he's an elite quarterback. We know he's top 10. It's just that they're not a top 10 franchise. And that's been the lingering problem for Matt Stafford. You hate for him to be in the book of the Archie Mannings of the world and everything like that, because he's much better than that. So I like the Lions a lot this week. They've won winners of 2 in a row. And literally they have won their last 3 out of 4 games as well, too, because they got a big win over Arizona as well. But these were all road wins as well, too. That's what you question a little bit with the Lions, is how well do they play at home? Do they like playing at home? Because it seems like they always choke at home. This week, I'm going to go ahead and be a little crazy here and go against my own logic and say the Lions win this game by a field goal late, because Rivers always has issues against the Lions, to be that honest with you. Always has, and I don't know if it will be always will be, but I know that last time they played, he had some real issues with them. in Detroit as well too. And from what I remember, Detroit won the game. So we're going to see how this one goes. And I like Detroit in this spot, Jeff. And I'm actually going to take Detroit on the plus 120 money line here. So let's see how it shakes out. Hopefully we go ahead and cash the ticket.
It's funny because with the preseason, we talked to our buddy Craig, and ECSI was high on the Lions, maybe even sneaking into the playoffs, and they had a couple tough losses early. And now, again, the back-to-back weeks, they're starting to put it together. ECSI just honestly going off of that opening line, and Vegas had Indy -3 as an opening line, almost like baiting the public to say, come on, come get us. And the Indy shined when they were at the Bears with that opening line of 3, and not so fortunate when they played the Browns. We're going to go off of the open intel from Vegas. We're going to flip the other side, Pops. We're going to grab the Colts minus the 140 on the money line, just looking to win, baby. And like you said, this could be a 1, 2, 3-point game. We just think when the gun sounds this time that Rivers and Jonathan Taylor will be winning this game close in Motown. So take the Colts minus the 140 money line here at ECSI.
All right. And you guys see it. Me and Jeff are in a weekly face-off this week. So, hey, it is what it is. We move on, and we have ourselves a really good one here. I like this game a lot, Jeff. It's going to be the Rams at the Dolphins. And the Rams coming in here 5-2, actually. And the Dolphins are coming in 3-3. So you have a Dolphins team that's going to start Tua this week. The Tua experience begins in Miami. I think they're going to even let 50% of capacity in as well too. A lot of people don't know this, but Florida is cleared everybody to go back out and live again. So you pretty much the Dolphins decided not to have 100% capacity to not rub it in to the rest of the NFL. So they're going to have a lot of people here more than what the attendance has been over the last few weeks, because the Tua excitement is just it's throbbing all the way to the top. It's frothing, as they would say, Jeff, and pretty much it's almost overload in a sense. So I truly do think this game right here is going to be a very hyped situation that's going to get this kid in a little bit of a trouble here against a very stout defense in the Rams. And Aaron Donald has just been eating quarterbacks alive. It takes a guy 3.5 seconds to get to the quarterback. So Tua's not going to have time to scramble out and do spin moves and all types of stuff like that with a crazy Aaron Donald coming up the middle unblocked. So my thing is, I think the Rams take care of business and easily take care of business in this one. I know everybody's going to be saying, well, they played Monday night and they, the extra day, blase, but the Rams are on a mission as well, too. The Rams have to stay pace in a very tough division. I think the Rams go ahead and win this game, and they win it in fanatic fashion as well. So give me the Rams minus 3.5, and I'm rolling with that, Jeff.
I think if my memory serves me correct, this is at least the 4th trip east for the Rams now. They played twice at the Meadowlands. They played in Washington. Now they're coming to Miami. I don't want to say I'm buying the sizzle here. Big win. Rams have and their defense and Donald has been lights out. The problem this year has been the inconsistency of Goff at some point. They're a little nicked up in the backfield. I'm actually seeing some 4.5s now. Tough spot for Tua, but they had the extra week to get ready. I think they're going to put him in the situations where check downs, get his feet wet early. I'm going to bite the cheese here. We're leaning towards the Dolphins. We have them pegged right here at plus the 4 and a hook. It's a game where I think should be competitive. I think the Dolphins and the home crowd, whatever crowd it is, 5, 10, 15, 20,000 there, and Tua gives them a boost. Not saying they're going to win the game outright here, but let's hope that they keep it within a field goal here, Pops.
And I don't mean to be a stickler or anything, Jeff, but they didn't play in the Meadowlands twice. They played in Washington, Buffalo, and now they're going to be playing in Miami. And I'm trying to remember the 4th place where they haven't played.
Didn't they play the Jets and the Giants this year?
That was San Francisco.
Okay.
Back to back in the MetLife. They haven't made their trip. The Rams haven't made a trip to Jersey yet, but they did make a trip to West New York playing
Buffalo. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So pretty much, but I didn't want to be the stickler to.
No, I thank you. Thank you.
Years ago, but with that, we're gonna take our last break actually, and we'll be right back. This is gonna be the prime. This is gonna be the NFL Bet Exchange.
Drinkade, ready for distribution worldwide.
Welcome back to the NFL Bet Exchange with Pop DiBiase, the primetime capper, and the Don of Cape Cod, Jeff Dawson. And we are sitting here now in the fourth quarter. And boy, oh boy, we got ourselves another really good Sunday night football game here, Jeff. And it's going to be between the Eagles and the Cowboys. Eagles coming in here 2-4-1, while the Cowboys coming into the game 2-5. Cowboys last week literally lost me as a backer of anything for them pretty much for the rest of the season. It's just they're money burners. There's no point in just investing in that anymore. Maybe in about a week or two, just let me calm down a little bit. But as of now, I'm just not going anywhere near the Cowboys. They stink, okay? And they stink big time, all right? And, to all you Dak haters out there and everything like that, let me tell you something. They can't play without him. They look terrible without him. I know a lot of you guys will always want to say, okay, because they were playing from behind and defenses are soft. Nah, man, when you're coming back from 25 down and everything like that in 16 minutes, that's incredible. That's Hall of Fame stuff, okay? Dak is a very important piece to what the Cowboys have now and in the future. He's even a bigger piece than Zeke, and that's why his agent was very smart to do what he did, but at the same time, it's going to mess his money up, but it doesn't really matter. Jerry's going to pay that man. Now, he has no choice unless he wants to go back, but if as bad as the Cowboys get, they could possibly be looking at a top 5 pick. Now you got to asset the trade as well, too, to get another first-round draft pick. So the Cowboys got a lot of options, but I'm going to tell you like this. This is the reason why the Cowboys are just playing bad football. Bad coaching, and I think right now we have a very civil dispute going on between father and son. I think there's some things Steven wants to do that Jerry won't let him do at this moment. And I think what has to happen now is that they have to transition the power towards Stephen Jones, because Stephen Jones makes all the rational decisions for this team, in my opinion. And I think that's where we got to go to first. Jerry Jones got to go because he's so in love with bringing in names. He's not bringing in players that play the Cowboy way anymore. He's just bringing in names now. and that's detrimental to the team. So at the end of the day, the Eagles are still going to be better than the Cowboys here. I'm taking the Eagles with -6.5, and I'm not even blinking when I tell you this. Eagles, go ahead and rock them out one more time. Yeah, seriously. I don't even think you two need to be on the Sunday Night Football, to be that honest with you. But since you're in the NFC East and you're the most covered conference, they're going to do that. So there it is, Jeff. There's my rant of the day. Give me the Eagles -6.5. Cowboys, stay away from me.
Yeah, at this point, again, the only thing that you can do is bet the Eagles -6.5 and turn the page. 0-7 against the spread, Dallas. They're going to their third string quarterback, which is someone that, I mean, even if you could make a move, they talked about, someone did today about, bringing in Blake Bortles. I mean, I don't know if Dalton will be ready in a week, 10 days. I have no idea. But as bad as that O-line is, it doesn't matter who's standing back there. One thing I'm pretty disappointed in is Zeke in this regard. Someone needs to step up on that team and be accountable. Someone needs to, wake this team up, and, all the feed me and all the propaganda that Zeke brings to the table, but haven't heard boo about him. And the fact that Dalton got laid out and not one person stepped to him and tried to defend him, it just shows where this team is right now. And Jones made, I'll admit, I liked the McCarthy sign-in. I thought it would be a good voice. He's been with some divas before, and he was able to win with the Packers. And I thought this was the right signing, but obviously it wasn't. I thought Jerry would step in and maybe fire the defensive coordinator, do something to try to light a fire under these guys. Nothing. I'll tell you what they need to do. They need to cut bait and clean the whole house out. I'd be on the phone to Urban Meyer. I'd be seeing what it would take to get him in there. He's a stubborn guy. He won't take shit from any of these guys. He's been very successful in college. I think it would be a good hire for him. They are going to have to pay Dak. They got to work back on that offensive line and put it back to where it was, and the defense is a shambles. So it's a clean reset in my eyes. I'll take the Eagles -6.5, 16.5, 30.5. I don't care if Dallas beats me, but there's no way in hell ECSI would release Dallas the rest of the year. They're on our DNP list for sure.
Yeah, man, because the Aussies have lost way too much money, and we both said it last week. If you can't get it right this week, I can't move along with you. So, back of the bus, Dallas. All right, Monday Night Football. We got Tommy Terrific going against the Nemesis, the team that's always been a thorn in his side. Probably the one team that you can say he might have a losing record against as well, too, because they've beaten him a few times as well during the regular season, not just in the Super Bowl. And he takes his 5-2 Buccaneers in here to MetLife against a 1-6 Giants team that actually is getting better as by the week, as a unit. You know what I mean? As a thriving unit. They don't know how to win yet, but as a unit, they are very good. They're taking care of their business. They're learning. They're progressing. They're doing everything that you have to do to become a better team, in my opinion, Jeff. So this week is a toughie for me in this sense on Monday Night Football, because I know this is going to be a very backed game for the Bucs, because everybody is now on the Bucs train. But I think what happens here, to be honest with you, is going to be a very good Giants cover. I think the Giants are going to answer a lot of questions here. And what makes me say you got to roll with the Giants here is Joe Judge knew Tom Brady for a very long time, for about a decade. And every time Brady goes against one of these former assistants, he's not like Belichick, where Belichick can just go over there and play the chess game and get you out of here. Nah, Tom be having issues with his former coordinators, especially guys who are high up in ranking. And he's lost pretty much all of them over the years. And I think that streak continues as well too, Jeff. So I'm taking I'm not saying that the Giants win the game, but the Giants could be a very big annoyance to the Bucs in this game as well too, because their defense is getting really, really good. And I know that the back end of it might not be that great, but the front seven has been some killers lately. And I like it. So I'm taking the Giants with the plus 10.5 home doggy dog. How you feeling, Jeff?
Well, you know something, from the notes that I sent you to looking at the ticket counts to reevaluating, ECSI is going to flip the switch here. Looking at the ticket count, and like you said, 8 out of every 10 is on the Bucks. The Bucks are, again, the duck boats, the parades, hosting the Super Bowl. Tommy, another MVP, yada, yada, yada. We got notice today early that Godwin will be out. He dislocated a finger and having surgery on that touchdown catch. So maybe Mike Evans will step back into Tommy's grace. You are right. The Giants have done very well against Tom. Judge does know him. We're going to go the extra step here. We're going to buy the hook and get the home team Giants plus the 11 here. So hopefully they keep it from 10 or under. Again, you can't make mistakes, Daniel. Great run. You can't fall, 10 yards short of the end zone, even though they did score. But we'll take the Giants plus the 11, the contrarian look here, and hope that they keep it within double digits, Pops.
Hey, there it is. So we on the same wavelength like we were last week with the Sunday and Monday night football game. So there it is. And that's a wrap on football games this week. And we got the trade deadline coming up very soon as well too, Jeff. And I got 5 players on a list right here that need to be on a new team. Number 5, Kyle Rudolph, tight end, Vikings. I would like to see Kyle Rudolph play on a team that's going to contend. Maybe say somebody like the I'm trying to think. Maybe the Cardinals could be a good fit for him. Maybe the Cardinals could maybe make a few trades or something like that, and he could become another option for them. Another team that would be able to bring him on as well too, and it would be a good look, could be somebody like the Bears. They do need another tight end other than just, other than our boy. So pretty much with that, Rudolph is to me an asset at this point, and he's somebody that you should be looking to get. Maybe even the Saints might want to jump on the flyer a little bit there. Then number 4, this name's going to catch you by surprise. Miles Jack, linebacker, Jacksonville. He can play both ways, actually. So, all right. And honestly, Miles Jack is a bona fide baller. And I would like to see a team like maybe San Francisco make a little investment in him on a trade. And then this is a team that should really, really think about picking him up because he would love to be teamed with Garrett right now, the Browns. Hey, they have some assets they can give up to get a guy like Miles Jack as well, too. So I would like to see Miles Jack on another team. Free Miles Jack. All these guys need to be freed. That's my whole thing, Jeff, with this group. And then Jamison Crowder. I know this name surprises everybody, wide receiver from the Jets, but he's consistent. Very consistent, Jeff. And I think that his consistency could be something that could be helpful for somebody like the Bills, in a sense. Because the Bills always need some type of extra receiver because their receivers stay hurt. You know what I mean? And I think Jamison Crowder could be a good little fill-in. He knows the division very well. And I know that's probably a tough trade to make because it's within the division. But I would like to see Jamison Crowder on the Bills, or I would like to see him maybe figure out a way to get down there and maybe play with Tommy Boy a little bit as well, too, because he could be a good little target down there for them here later in the season as we progress and move forward and injuries keep occurring. You know what I mean? So I like Crowder to be on another team that's much better than the team he's playing on now. And then this one is kind of sentimental, but we just spoke about him as well, too. They're not a contender, but maybe you might want to think about this. Cowboys, call the Dolphins. Go get Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm not saying he saves your season or anything like that, but he gives you a better chance than Dalton does because reason being Fitzpatrick is in the game. You know what I mean? He's there. He's in tune to what's going on in today's NFL. And it's crazy to see a quarterback evolve into what he is right now so late into his career. You know what I mean? The game suits his actual skill set, the game that we play in today's NFL. But when he came in the league, he was always a go-to backup. You would never think of Ryan being a starter. But now, wherever he goes, you have to give him the opportunity to start. So, Cowboys, stop being lazy. Get on the phone. Get Ryan Fitzpatrick. Maybe you can do something with that. And number one, I talked about this last week, but this guy needs to have at least 5 of these top possible playoff teams calling, blowing up the line. That's AJ Green. And I know his contract might be the big difference in taking on at this point, but make some type of deal. Honestly, Cincinnati, you don't deserve AJ Green anymore. Just let him go. Seriously, you got Boyd, who's now Burrow's favorite target. Higgins is another favorite target for Burrow, and AJ Green just looks like a total shell of himself now. And I still see the talent there with AJ Green. It's just that him and Buffalo are at their ends with each other. I mean, not Buffalo, him and Cincinnati are at their ends with. So I would like to see Buffalo try to make a call for him. I would like to see maybe even, this is crazy, but the Patriots, if you want to say your season, I don't know. Ring the phone, see what you can get see what you guys can get in that deal. Also, another team that just lost OBJ, and we just talked about it. Maybe the Browns go after him as well too, because this is somebody that you can maybe build a future with Landry and Peoples-Jones and the rest of the receiving core. So, you got those teams as well. But this is the team I think that should really dig into it. But I don't think they have the picks to do so. But they have a player that can be moved for them though. And that's going to be the Rams, Jeff. Think about it. You can move Robert Woods and some picks real quick, some later on picks, and you got AJ Green, or you can move Cooper Kupp, and you got AJ Green, a big time target for Jared Goff moving forward and making it to where you can be a possible Super Bowl team. And then one more team, the team that just lost out on AB, the team that was pumping the fact that they were going to bring AB back, Seahawks. How about that, Jeff? They're known to make silly, crazy trades like this as well, too. But have they given away too many picks as well? I don't know. But I don't know, Jeff. What's your 2 cents on this real quick?
Well, I mean, the 5 guys that you listed, I did hear some rumblings for Rudolph to the Pats. They need a tight end desperately. They've been in talks for the last 2 years for AJ Green there. Your Fitzpatrick, there were rumblings earlier this week about him to Dallas. It's tough to move in the middle of a season, especially for a quarterback, to pick up the system. But that was a name I did hear. The Jack trade, I think, Seattle would be a good move there. That's the thing. Their offense is fine. They need someone on the defensive end. Jack would be great there. As for Crowder, the problem with Crowder is it just when he gets going in the right direction, he always seems to be often injured. Green Bay's always looking for a wide receiver. I think that would be a good move for them as well. And AJ Green, again, Green Bay, another one to be on the other side of Devontae Adams. I think the wide receiving core in Seattle is fabulous with Lockett and Metcalf. I don't know if they need the wide receiving help, but I tell you what, defensively, if they added Jack back there, I think that would be a plus for them as well.
All right. We will see. I think there's going to be a lot of moves made though, come next week as well too, Jeff, and we'll be all over it as well too, like we always are. So here we are, Sunday DFS lineup. We did pretty good last week, and this week, let's go ahead and try to win that $2.5 million. Straight up clean, Jeff. Clean, baby, clean. So this week, I feel like I'm pressing the cheat button a little bit because I like to get players that are value but without overspending. But this week, I'm playing Daddy Warbucks this week with my team, Jeff. So at quarterback, I'm gonna go get the best in the game, Patrick Mahomes. Then at running back, bringing in Alvin Kamara. He's going to after seeing what the Rams running backs did to the Bears last night, I expect Kamara to have a big one against them Sunday as well too. And then we got DeAndre Swift. I know I'm throwing him in through the back door a little bit, but I feel like he's going to be giving the Colts some fits because he can run and he's running and catching passes as well too. So that works out very well in that accord. And that's the same thing going on with Kamara. So we got two multi-purpose backs back there. And then I'm going to go with Keenan Allen once again. I think Keenan Allen always has a big game against Denver. I think he's due for another big one against Denver. So I'm definitely going to take Keenan to go ahead and help this squad out on Sunday. And then I got Jarvis Landry just because the matchup, and I feel like he's going to be giving the Raiders fits in the middle range game, passing game, catching 7-8 yard passes, turning them into 16, 17 yard gains, things of that nature. I know he's a little banged up and everything like that, but Jarvis Landry's tough. He's always ready for Sundays, and now he knows he has to do double duty because his brother OBJ is out for the season. So I'm taking Jarvis Landry here as well too, just to go head up with that Raiders secondary that is, to me, very middling. And then you have T.J. Lockett, probably the best burner receiver in the NFL, point blank. I don't think there's anybody that can really stick him foot for foot in the NFL at all. This guy will run past you, period, point blank. And he's been able to put together some great catches as well, too, along the way. So I love it. T.J. Lockett, you are the man. And do your thing for me, man. That's what all I'm asking for is do your thing. Kill the Niners like you usually do. And then this is really my favorite tight end in the NFL. He's just always hurt. Jared Cook. Jared Cook could have been one of the greatest to ever do it. If you ever watched Jared Cook's first 2 touchdowns in the NFL, they were both like 65-yard touchdowns when he was playing for the Titans. And literally his bad attitude got him cut from the Titans because Jeff Fisher couldn't get along. But when you see things at the end of the day, it wasn't really about, him. It's more about Fisher and the type of coach he was. So pretty much Jared Cook was able to get back his career somewhat by hooking up with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. And then the Raiders really helped him out. And so now he's over here and with the Saints as one of their bigger targets. So I think that he's due for some touchdowns in this game as well too. So I got Jared Cook at tight end, and then we had some advisors come in and help us out with our flex play this week. And the advisement said that Henry Ruggs would probably be the best fit for this week. So I went and got with my staff, and we went ahead and decided to put a couple extra bucks down to go get Henry Ruggs to be the flex. And then we're going to rock with the Saints on defense this week because the Bears offense is only good for 24 points a game. And I think the Saints are good enough defense to hold them to about 10 to 13 points this week. So there it is. That's my DFS lineup right there, Jeff. Final thoughts.
Another great show as always. We hope everyone listening and taking notes on the weekend when we do release this to check back with us. Myself on Twitter at EC Sports Invest, or you can catch me on IG or Facebook at Jeff Dawson at East Coast Sports Investors. Drop a DM, say, hey, I'm listening to the show, have a couple questions. The line is moved since this has been released. That's the key, is to get the sharpest lines, to follow the line moves. Send us an email at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com or check out our website at www.eastcoastsportsinvestors. We're here to help. We're here to cash tickets. What we like to say at East Coast Sports Investors is this, is if we can turn a loss into a push or a push into a win, we've done our job. So always invest responsibly, and always check out both of us on the Twitter, as you say as well.
Yeah, you guys can catch me on at Pop DiBiase on the Twitter, DiBiase Wave _ on IG, and you guys can also hit me up on PTSI on IG. That's for people that want to be exclusive clients, but that's in another realm. So pretty much I thank you guys so much for tuning in. As usual, you guys are the best. There is no us without you. So we'll be back next week for week 9. And man, the marathon continues in the NFL, Jeff. And let's go ahead and cash some tickets. And as I always tell y'all, bet with your head, not with your heart. This is another great episode of the NFL Bet Exchange with your host, the one and only Pop DiBiase, the primetime capper.
and Jeff Dawson, CEO, founder of East Coast Sports Investors, the Dawn of Cape Cod.
And there it is. We'll see you guys next week, and we are gone.
Thank you for tuning in to the NFL Bet Exchange, where the sharpest bets are laid. This show was produced by the Prime Wave Media Group.